Okay, so I've got a story to tell. One day, I was having a yard sale with my family. It was the first night that Lacey came to stay over with me, the only night. Well, you might be able to come again, but people don't like my house because my dog pees on them. Anyway, so I was having a yard sale. Shut up. And on the very last day, this guy comes over near sunset and starts looking at a stereo, and he comes up to me, and he asks me how old I am. I tell him I'm 15. He looks at me, says, "You're not 15." I was like, "Yeah, I'm 15." And then he was like, "No, you're not 15." And I was like, "No, I'm 15. I'm pretty sure I'm 15. I mean, I'm pretty sure I would know how old I am."
Nope.
So he looked at me, and he said, "You're not 15." And so this goes on for like 5 whole minutes of him just saying, "You're not 15," over and over again, and I keep telling him how old I am. And then finally, he asks Lacey, "Is she really 15? And Lacey says, "Yes, sir, she's really 15. So then he asks Lacey how old she is, and she says she's 15. And he looks at her, and he's like, "You're not 15. No, you're not 15. And I'm just like, "Bro, we're both 15. And he was creepy. Yeah, and still this goes on longer as Tyler, our friend, Lacey, and I are sitting at a table eating some dinner that our neighbor actually forced us to eat. Not nom forced, but just eat it forced. Anyway,
Eat it.
So after a while, this keeps going on. He keeps on saying, "You're not 15. I'm 15. You're not 15. I'm 15." And so finally he's like, "You got an ID?" "No." And he said, "Do you have a driver's license ID?" "No." And so he's like, "Oh, you're not 15. And I was like, okay. So I went inside, got my student ID that the school gave to me in 8th grade when I was 14, 2011, 1 year ago. There you go. 15 now, 14 back then. Anyway, so I showed it to him. He takes it. He looks at it. He keeps looking at it. And I'm like, "See, I'm 15, 8th grade, 2011. He looks at it.
I meant a state ID.
"I'm a state ID." And I was like, "I'm 15. How will I get a state ID?" And so Lacey eventually, he's looking at it and he's like clutching it to his side. And Lacey's all just trying to take it. He's got it up here and he's just like moving it away from her. Like, she's got it right there. And so, like, eventually she gets it from him and holds it, and she's like looking at him with this look like, "What the hell?" And he's just sitting there totally unfazed. He's wearing a red plaid shirt, and he's got his shirt hanging off of his body, and is all like shoving his chest in my face. And I was just like, okay. And he's all looking down my shirt, so I'm just like, okay, go away. And so, "You're not 15 continues. And then we're talking.
Then he asked to take a picture of her.
Well, no. First, he's talking about how I'm not 15. Even though
yeah.
I know for certain that I'm 15. And so he's talking about, he's like, 15? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm 15. I'm happy because I think he's finally starting to realize I'm 15 years old." And so he's like, "15? I'm like, "Yeah." And he's all, "I have a 15-year-old sister. Do you want to come to my house and see her?" And I was just like, son of a bitch. No, I have to stay here. Why? To watch the yard sale. Oh, okay. I'd live just... No, thank you. And so, finally, he's just sitting there, and he puts this hat on me that he's wearing, and he's like, "Wear my hat." And I was like, okay. And so, finally, he takes out his phone, flips through it, shows me a picture of him with his shirt off and his Santa hat on going, and I'm just like, "That's a nice picture. You got the Santa hat going on right there." I wanted to like tell him to go away, but I didn't want to like upset him and have him punch me in the face.
Is that when Tyler's mom came up?
Yeah, and so finally our friend Tyler's mom comes up, looks at him, and then Lacey and Tyler, while he's talking to me, run up to her and start jabbing away.
I was like, "So there's this creepy guy talking to Darians."
Yeah,
and she's just all like, "Do you know him?" And I'm like, "No, he's just creepy."
And meanwhile, this guy's like, "I'm gonna take your picture," and I was like, and Lacey, And Lacey was just like, don't do it, don't do it. And I was just like, okay. So he takes this picture of me. He's like, that's nice, that's nice. And I give him back his hat. And then Jen comes up, the mom, and she's hey, what are you doing here? And he's and she's like, you like what you see? And he's just like, yeah. And she's like, they're very pretty girls, aren't they? And then he was like, yeah, I was just talking to him. And then Jen's all, yeah, I think it's time for you to leave. And he was like, oh, well, I was just looking at, stereo and crap. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. It was pretty funny. And then he's walking away, and I run inside, and immediately I go looking for my Rambo knife. Not mine, but Eric's. And I find out where it is, and I take it out to Lacey, and I'm like, Lacey, he stays with us from now on.
And then we watch the guy cross the street, and he walks past the house that he lives in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I live right down there. He walks past it so far down the street. We go and look for him, and he's all the way down the street. And it's like, you liar.
you son of a